What has been or what is the key to the success for you and your longevity to play as long as you have for this high rate of success and consistency?
I just think it's having to stay focused and understand being passionate about the purity of the game. Understanding the ones that came before me, respecting the history of the game, and also understanding that if you want to be great at something, you gotta put in the work, and there's no substitution for work. I put in the work, on the court, off the court, keeping my mind fresh, or keeping it as fresh as I can, keeping my body as fresh as I can, keeping my game as sharp as I can, and then just pouring it all to the sport that I've loved for a lot of years now. So I think that's definitely helped me get to this point.
Can you also address, this has been an up and down year for you. I mean, one of the ups was with Mookie Betts at the ballpark at Dodger Stadium and things like that, and then there's the incident with your son. How is he doing, and how has the family managed to get through this crisis?
Bronny is doing extremely well. He has began his rehab process to get back on the floor this season with his teammates in USC, and it was a successful surgery that he had, but he's on the up and up. It's definitely a whirlwind and a lot of emotions for our family this summer. But the best thing we have is each other, and we stuck behind each other and gave Bronny strength throughout the whole process. And we're happy to see where he is today, and we look forward to seeing, what his future still has in store for him.
LeBron, how you doing? Just to follow up on that, how has that just put anything else into perspective for you, just as a parent, going through that as you think about your career and your family and all of it heading into year 21?
Nothing else matters besides my family, and obviously I'm gonna dedicate this. The season because to Bronny because of the incident that happened this summer, and understanding that it just puts everything in perspective, and no matter what's going on in your life at that point in time, that the only thing that matters is your family. So to see what he had to go through or what he's been through over the last few months, it's been a lot. I can only imagine how it's been for him. Because it's been a lot for me, it's been a lot for our family. But the man above definitely has given us a lot of strength, and has given Bronny the strength to bounce back. And if he was to walk through the door right now, you wouldn't even know that he had what he had because of how well he's moving, how vibrant he is, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to have him where he is today. And I give the biggest compliment and the biggest shout out and the biggest praise to the USC training staff and coaching staff. When the incident happened, they were Jimmy on the spot. They didn't waste no time, and they were amazing in their efforts to make sure that our son was very well taken care of, and also Cedar Sinai as well. The Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, and anybody else that had anything to do with his recovery, and it's been an amazing thing.
LeBron, first of all, very good news and happy to hear that about Bronny. From a basketball sense, when you reassessed the Denver series, how much do you think continuity played a part in that? And then, I guess, along those lines, coming into this year with a team that really only made changes around the edges and was able to bring much of its core back, how did you feel about the continuity that you're going to enter this season with?
Very optimistic about how we can pick off where we left off, and I don't mean the loss in the series. I mean from the trade deadline to how we played all the way up into the Western Conference Finals. I'm very optimistic on seeing how we can pick up from there. Like what you just said with the continuity, with the chemistry, there shouldn't be much teaching. Obviously we're going to, not waste any steps. We're not going to shortcut any corners or whatever the case may be, but there should not be much teaching, when it comes to us getting back on the floor. We have that chemistry. Obviously, we have some guys that we are bringing into the fold. But we returned a lot of our core. Myself, AD, AR, Vando, Rui, D'Lo, Max. So we have a lot of guys that know the system that can pick up right where we left off with just a little refresher. So, and I believe the guys that we brought in are smart enough to be able to catch on very fast.
LeBron, last time we spoke to you, you mentioned that your basketball future was uncertain. What went into deciding to return and just that process? I don't know, just had conversations with my family, conversations with myself, getting inspired, once again from my kids, being on the AAU circuit with Bryce, seeing how he continues to grow, his individual game, being extremely proud of Bronny being able to go off to USC and see where he was before, obviously, the incident, inspired by that, and then I feel like I got a lot more in the tank to give. At that moment, I didn't. I was exhausted. I was tired. Mentally, I was in too many different places mentally, and that's what drew that comment or that statement, because that's just how I felt at the moment. But I'm happy to be returning for another season and helping this team, hopefully lead this team to the promised land. That's just the goal.
LeBron, you've played on teams throughout your 20 years in the league that made the rest of the league think that maybe the ending is inevitable. You've played against teams that were out there. There's continuity throughout the entire league and a leveled playing field to some extent. I think you talk to people, there could be more than a handful of legitimate contenders. How does that view of the entire league give you some, oomph with this group, considering that you did have that great run the second half of the year, but it was still put together rather quickly?
Yeah, I don't really, especially at this point in my season, I don't really give my energy to the rest of the league until it's time to compete versus them and I'm across from them. But my energy is solely towards this team every day, on how we can get better every day, how we can not skip a step every day. And just because of how the way we finished last year doesn't mean it's going to apply to this year. But we do have this is the first time since the 2020 run that we're returning a team. Besides that run, we've been revolving door. We've been a lot of turnover. So I'm excited about us returning our core and then bringing in a lot of very, very, very good players, that can help us continue to roll on what we was able to do. But it takes work. Like I said, there's no substitution for work, and we have to put in the work. And if we do that, we'll give ourselves a chance every single night to compete at the highest level.
LeBron, we talked to athletes who are in the last 2, 3, however many years you think you're going in your career. And I remember Derek Jeter once saying that he felt so much more urgency in those last few years than maybe in the middle, and that you just had this sense that, okay, I'm not going to be doing this 10 years in the future. How have you experienced that feeling at all, and what kind of urgency do you feel this stage in your career has brought?
Well, I have an urgency to perform at the high level, so I can be out there for my teammates. And, and I prepare my mind and my body and my soul to go out there and be available to my teammates. I know when I'm on the floor, it makes us a better team. The sense of urgency comes from me always preparing myself for the long haul and being able to put myself in a position where I can lead these guys every single night. If I can do that, then that is the sense of urgency for me, in order to put ourselves in a position where we want to be. We're all here for one common goal, and that's to win a championship. But that's months and months and months and months at the end of the road. But the most important thing is how we can continue to get better and apply, every step, each and every day, each and every week, each and every month to get to that goal. But it takes time. I feel different. I'm not as not the 21-year-old. That's for sure. Feels a little bit different getting out of bed every day. But as far as my energy level,
I feel pretty good with my energy, though.
What's up, Brian?
What's going on?
The NBA had a lot of rules they put in place this year, but the resting rule, which is one that was put out there, what are your thoughts on that? And was that necessary for them to do, to have players play during the regular season?
I mean, at the end of the day, I play in this league. Obviously, I'm one of 450 or 430, whatever the number is. But I'm also a businessman. I understand the business side of the game too. And the business side, having our star and marquee guys on the floor when they are available, being on the floor, the fans want to see that. The fans want to see that. I've always wanted to try to play in every game in my entire career, and sometimes because of injury or sometimes because of just the way the schedule landed, I have not been able to play every game, but I love playing in every game, and we'll see. Hopefully that happens again this year.
Yeah, LeBron, does any part of you think this could be your last season?
I don't know.
Can you expound on that?
No, I can't, because I don't know. I'm happy right now. I'm looking forward to tomorrow and getting the training camp going and getting going, but I don't know what the end of this road look like, or at the end of the season. I have no idea.
LeBron, Darvin and Rob were talking last week about how much you worked with Haimura. Just kind of wondering how that started. Did he approach you? Did you approach him? How often did you guys work out together? And just what have you learned about him, I guess, over the course of this time?
We've worked out together pretty much all summer. I see a lot in him. I see his potential, and I know what he can bring to the floor, not only for him individually, but also for our ball club. I call him my Daniel son, and I'm Mr. Miyagi, and I'm calling him my understudy. I get him every single day, and we work every single day while we've been together throughout this off season, and I want him to be as great as he can be, or as great as he want to be. So excited about what he has in store this year.
LeBron, do you have any interest in playing the Olympics next year? And if so, what kind of physical challenge would that be?
Yeah, I do. I do have interest. So we see what happens. But as far as physical toll, I don't know. I see how I feel at the end of the season. But from the players that we have here and that I can think off the top of my head that can fill that roster up, I don't think it'd be too much of a physical toll. I wouldn't have to do much. Rebound a little bit, pass a little bit, defend, block some shots, But we see what happens.
LeBron, to your right, speaking with Rob, to your right, speaking with Rob earlier in the summer, he mentioned that they felt good about the treatment you and AD got after injuries you dealt with. Just where are you with the foot, and just how did it go treating that over the summer?
Yeah, obviously, a lot of my attention this summer was with my foot, and getting that back to pre-injury, that pre-Dallas game, where I pretty much tore the whole tendon on my right foot. This summer has been a lot about rehabbing that and getting that back to where it needs to be. So looking forward. It's been reacting very well in my off-season workouts. Looking forward to seeing how it reacts throughout training camp and also preseason and then going into the regular season. But excited to see where I am as it stands today.
Hey, Ron. When you intimated last season, obviously it was a very emotional time that you were potentially considering retirement. How quickly after that did you realize I have a lot of gas left in the tank and I have a lot longer I want to play?
I don't know. I don't remember how quickly or how long it was. I can for sure tell you it wasn't super quick. I got away from the game for quite a while and just to start focusing myself and my family pretty much and what we're going to do this summer and start getting my schedule ready to travel with the kids. I know what kind of got me out of the funk though was coaching Bryce's team down in Augusta for Peace Jam, and just seeing the love and just seeing the just play for the love of the game, and being around all those kids, with our AAU program, they were just out there just competing and wanting to win and just putting everything on the line. It had nothing to do about, social media clicks or money or fame or none of that stuff. They were just playing to be able to put themselves in position to possibly win Peach Jam, and to have a special shout out to Rajon coming down and helping me coach throughout those few days. Truly appreciate you, Doe. But just seeing that kind of got me going a little bit, and but I don't have a line or a timetable of when it started to turn